Hello and warm welcome to all of you. Today I am here with the part 16 of history chapter number 3, nationalism in India. Dear students, we are discussing how different social groups participated and reacted towards civil disobedience movement. In the previous lecture, we discussed that how Patidars of Gujarat and Jats of Uttar Pradesh participated and reacted towards civil disobedience movement. Even we also discussed how poor peasants, poor farmer, they reacted towards civil disobedience movement. Today we are going to discuss how business community participated and reacted towards civil disobedience movement. During the First World War, Indian merchants and industrialists had made huge profit and become powerful. Keen on expanding their business, they now reacted against colonial policies that restricted business activities. At the time of First World War, Indian businessmen and industrialists, they were able to earn huge profit through overseas trade. They were able to earn huge profit in the import and export of the goods from one country to another country. Regarding to this, there is a detailed description in chapter number 5, the age of industrialization. We will discuss about this, how they expanded, how they were able to earn huge profit through overseas trade. We will discuss in the chapter number 5. So these businessmen, they were keen to expand their business in many countries. So when British government after the First World War, they put restriction over overseas trade by Indian businessmen and industrialists, they strongly reacted towards this and they decided to support civil disobedience movement. As we discussed that they were able to earn huge profit through overseas trade, and after the First World War, British government put restriction on overseas trade by Indian businessmen and industrialists. So they were worried because of this restriction, because they want to expand their business. They want to spread their business in many parts. So they decided to support civil disobedience movement. They wanted protection against import of foreign goods and rupee sterling foreign exchange ratio that would discourage import. These businessmen, they demanded protection against the import of foreign goods in Indian market, and they also wanted to fix exchange ratio of rupee, because there is a change in exchange ratio of the rupee. So because of it, it discourages their business, it discourages their imports. So they demanded protection against the policies of British government, and they also demanded protection against the imports of foreign goods in Indian market. To organize business interests, they formed Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress in 1920. For their trade interests, they decided to set up Indian Industrial Commercial Congress in 1920 and the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries in 1927. These Indian businessmen and industrialists, for the protection of their interests, they set up two organizations. Number one, Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress in 1920, and the second one is Indian Chamber of Commerce and Influence in 1927, FICCI, means Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. So for the protection of their business interests against British policies, they set up these two organizations. Led by prominent industrialists like Purushottam Das, Thakur Das and G.D. Birla, the industrialists attacked colonial control over the Indian economy and supported the civil disobedience movement when it was first launched. When civil disobedience movement, it was launched first time by Mr. Gandhi with the salt mark. The prominent industrialists like Purushottam Das, Thakur Das and G.D. Birla, they provided leadership and they attacked colonial control over the Indian economy. When Britishers were ruling over here, in the business, they were purchasing raw material from Indian market, Indian people with the lower price. They sent it into European market, in British market, and the finished product they imported in Indian market and they were selling with the higher prices. So this policy of Britisher, it was attacked by these two prominent industrialists, Purushottam Das, Thakur Das and G.D. Birla, because in those days there was a total control of Britisher over Indian market. So they challenged the control of Britisher over Indian market, and when first time Mr. Gandhi launched civil disobedience movement, they declared their support towards civil disobedience movement. They gave financial assistance and refused to buy or sell imported goods. Most businessmen came to see Swaraj as time when colonial restriction on business would no longer exist and trade and industry would flourish without constraint. Constraint means restriction. These businessmen, even they provided financial support, financial assistance, financial help to the civil disobedience movement, and they refused to buy or sell imported goods. Imported goods means foreign goods. These industrialists, they provided financial support, financial help to civil disobedience movement, and they refused to purchase or sell any foreign product in Indian market. Many of these businessmen show Swaraj means end of restriction over business. As from the beginning we are discussing, for different social group the meaning of Swaraj is different. So here what is the meaning of Swaraj for these industrialists? The meaning of Swaraj for these industrialists, end of restriction over business. That is the meaning of Swaraj for these businessmen. Even they also hope trade and industry would flourish without any restriction. Many of the businessmen show Swaraj means end of the restriction over business, and trade and industry would flourish, would progress without any restriction, without any limitation of British government. But after the failure of the Round Table Conference, business groups were no longer uniformly enthusiastic. They were apprehensive of the spread of militant activities and worried about prolonged disruption of business, as well as of growing influence of socialism among the younger members of the Congress. They supported the civil disobedience movement, but when second round table conference got the failure, these businessmen lost their interest in civil disobedience movement. Earlier, they enthusiastically supported civil disobedience movement, but after the failure of second round table conference, they lost their interest in civil disobedience movement. Even they had feared that if this movement continue for long period of time, it would disturb their business, it would disrupt their business, even there is a possibility of spread of militant activities, and they might have to suffer a loss. So due to this reason, they lost their interest in civil disobedience movement after the failure of second round table conference. Even they had feared that many of the young Congress leaders, they were the supporter of socialism theory, and because of it, they also lost their interest in civil disobedience movement. Dear student, again I am repeating, for their interest, for their protection of business interests, and to discontinue the policies of British government, they decided to support civil disobedience movement when it was first launched by Mr. Gandhi. Even they provided financial assistance to the movement, and they also refused to purchase or sell any foreign product in Indian market. It means that they were very active in the beginning of civil disobedience movement. But after the failure of second round table conference, these businessmen, these industrialists, they lost their interest in civil disobedience movement, and even they had feared that growing socialism in Congress and militant activities kept them away from civil disobedience movement. When it was relaunched by Mr. Gandhi, they not supported this movement because of the fear of growing socialism in young leader of the Congress, and they had feared that if this movement continue for a long time, it disturbed their business. So this way businessmen supported and reacted towards civil disobedience movement. So as we are discussing for different social group, meaning of Swaraj is different. After this detailed explanation, you are able to understand that the meaning of Swaraj for the businessman is end of restriction over trade and business. But for them, Swaraj, it does not mean freedom of our country. So dear student, with this explanation, I would like to conclude my today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss about how worker participated and reacted towards civil disobedience movement. Thank you very much for your support, for your cooperation. We will meet soon again with a new topic of the chapter. Again, thank you very much.